Hi students, it's Wednesday, and well, it's not Wednesday, but it will be Wednesday. And here is your math video for our review. So again, we're going to start out with factors. Factors of 27. That means we need to come up with all the multiplication facts that are going to equal 27. Oh, my hair is crazy. Okay. First one's always the easiest because 1 times 27 is 27. But 2 times what is 27? Well, 27 is an odd number, so 2 is not going to go into it. But 3 times what is going to equal 27? Well, 3 times 9. And if you're up on your math facts, then you already knew that. Now, if I'm thinking 4 doesn't work, 5 doesn't work, 6, 7, so that's going to be it. You're going to mark off 1, 3, 9, and 27. Okay? Now we have multiplication of decimals. So you're going to write it out. You're going to leave yourself plenty of space. So 19 and 6/10 times 7/10. Just multiply like normal, okay? Don't worry about the decimal point right now. So 6 times 7 is 42. 7 times 9 is 63, plus 4, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 6 is 13. Okay? Erase these or cross them off so you don't get confused. And then we have 0 times 6, 0, and 0. Add them up. It's going to give us 2, 7, 3, and 1. Now you're going to count the spaces to the right of the decimal point. So we've got 1 here, 1 here. Add them together gives you 2. Start at the end of your whole number and come over 2 places for a total of 13 and 72 hundredths. Next one's a word problem. So we've got, Jesus purchased cookies for a party. He bought 11 cookies for 51 cents each and 12 cookies for 62 cents each. How much money did he spend on cookies altogether? So this is going to be a multiple step word problem. And the first way we're going to attack this is we need to find out how much he paid for each set of cookies. So if he has 52 hundredths times 11. Let's figure that out first. So we've got 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 0 is 0. Sorry. 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 0 is 0. Then we're going to add them up. 5 plus 2 is 7. This is going to be 5. We have the 0 here. Now we need to count the spaces to the right of the decimal point. So 1, 2. There's no places to the right of the decimal point here. So we're just going to come over to our number and we're going to come over 1, 2. Okay? I'm going to move this forward a little. There we go. Better? Closer? Good. So he paid $5.72 for these 11 cookies. Now he bought another 12 cookies for 62 cents. So we're just going to do the exact same thing. Okay? Times those together. Don't worry about the decimal point right now. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 1, and then erase this or cross it out so you don't get confused. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 0 is 0. And we're going to add them up. 4, 4, and 7. Now we count how many places to the right of the decimal point. 1, 2. Now there is nothing to the right of the decimal point on 12, so we just leave it alone. So we come over here and we go 1, 2. So he spent $7.44 on those 12 cookies. But our question asks, how much did he spend on all the cookies altogether? Which tells us that altogether means we're going to add. So we're going to take 7.44 and we're going to add. Now remember, when you're adding, you need to line up these decimal points. So put your decimal point, and then you've got 5.72. Okay? I'm going to come down here a little. So we're going to add these up. 4 plus 2 is 6. 7 plus 4 is 11. And 7 plus 1 is 8. Plus 5 is 13. And this decimal point is going to come straight down. Okay? Easy peasy. Okay. Now we have division. So we've got 11.73 divided by 5.1. Now you know that you can't have a decimal point here, so we need to make it into a whole number. Whenever we do to the outside, we're going to do to the inside. So that leaves us with 51 divided by 11. Oops, nope. 117.3. Now remember, bring this decimal point straight up from where it is. So 51 doesn't go into 1. 51 doesn't go into 11. 51 does go into 117. So I'm thinking probably two times. So 51 times 2 is going to give us 102. Then we subtract. 7 minus 2 is 5. 1 minus 0 is 1. And that's 0. Then we're going to go ahead and bring down our 3. Now we need to figure out how many times does 51 go into 153. So I'm going to try 51 times 3. Because I know it's not going to be 2. And, oh, look. Perfect. So 51 times 3 is 153. There's your final answer. Next one's a word problem. So, Jordy looked at a package of M&Ms. He realized 1/3 of the M&Ms were blue, 1/4 were red, and 1/8 were yellow. Which color of M&Ms did Jordy have the most of? So this, we can use the butterfly method to compare fractions. You can also find common denominators and compare them that way. And you can also draw models. But let's just use the butterfly method since that's what we've been working on. So just pick 2 to compare. I'm going to pick the yellow, which is 1/8, and the blue, which is 1/4, and I'm going to compare them. And that's going to be 8, and this is going to be 4. So blue is the larger fraction. Now I want to compare the same yellow, 1/8, and I want to compare it against the Oh no, sorry, this was red. Oh, that was red. 1/4 was red. And 1/3 are blue. Okay? So compare them again. 8 times 1 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. Blue is bigger. So we know that yellow is going to be the smallest fraction. Okay? Now we want to compare blue with red and figure out which one's larger. So 1/3 is blue and 1/4 is red. Compare these. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 is bigger than 3, so your answer is blue. Jordy has the most blue M&Ms. Now we're going to simplify this fraction. Simplify also means reduce. Of 7 21s. So this is what you're going to do. 21 divided by 7. You're going to think to yourself, 7 times what equals 21? Well, 7 times 3. Oh, I did this wrong. I need you guys to pick out my mistakes. Okay? So 7. It's going to be 7 divided by 7 and 21 divided by 7. Sorry. Sorry, guys. 7 goes into 7 one time. 7 goes into 21 3 times for a total of 1/3. Sorry, I made that complicated. We're also going to simplify the fraction 6/24. So 6/24. Now, I need to find a number that's going to go into both of these. I could start with 2. I could also skip count. So if I skip count 6, 12, 18, 24. Well, now I see that 24, that's common. So I know that I can divide each of these by 6. Okay? 6 divided by 6 is 1. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Total of 1/4. Now we're going to find the sum. Sum is your clue that this is addition. So we've got 3 and 5, 6 plus 2 and 2/3. First things first. Add your whole numbers up. 3 plus 2 is 5. But now we have this 5, 6, and this 2/3. You have to find a common denominator here. So how do I make this 3 into a 6? Times it by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So we've got 5, 6 plus 4, 6 equals 9/6. You're saying to yourself, oh, Miss McGann, that's an improper fraction. You are completely correct. So 9 divided by 6. 6 goes into 9 one time, leaving us with 3/6. Because this becomes your numerator, your divisor stays there. So now I have 5 plus 1 and, oops, that's not correct, plus 1 and 3/6. Add your big numbers up. So 6 and 3/6. But when I look at this 3/6, that should be screaming at you benchmark fraction, because this can be reduced. We can divide each of them by 3 for a grand total of 6 and 1/2, because 3 is half of 6. And we know that anything half, 4 of 8, 6 of 12, 9 of 18, that's all going to reduce to 1/2. Okay, we have another sum to find of mixed numbers. So 1 and 2/3, we're going to do the exact same thing, plus 1 and 2/6. First things first, add your large numbers. 1 plus 1 is 2. You're going to have a big 2. But now you have this 2/3 and this 2/6. You're going to think to yourself, how am I going to make this common denominator? How do I turn a 3 into a 6? Or how do I multiply them both so that I have the same number on the bottom? Well, we know that if you times 3 times 2, you get 6. So we have 4/6 plus 2/6 equals 6/6. What does that tell you? It's a large 1 because 6 divided by 6 is 1. So 2 plus 1 equals 3. Ta-da! Now we're asked to find a product. Now that's screaming multiplication. So 1/6 times 1/2. And we're asked to simplify the answer. Multiplication of fractions. Multiply the top, multiply the bottom. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 2 is 12. Now, can this be reduced? Can I reduce this by anything? Well, 1 goes into 1, but 1 will go into 12 times. So this is already simplified for you. No need to reduce, no need to go any further than that. The model below represents which problem? So we have, it looks like this. And then we have another one that looks exactly the same. So this is like a lighter gray, and then this is like a super dark gray. It's kind of hard to recreate on here. But when we see this, and then this one has a light gray too. So let's figure out which one this represents. So what we have here is a 1/6, okay? And then the total here of all of these, since this is super dark gray, would be 1/12. Okay? So your answer would be 1/12 times 1/6. Nope, I'm wrong. We have to redo that problem. Hold on, guys. Sorry. We have. This is what it's showing. Sorry, we have to redo it again. That's okay. Mistakes are okay. Teachers make mistakes. I tell you guys that all the time. That's where the best learning happens, is when you're making a mistake. So you've got this. You've got this. Okay? And this is colored in. And then this is colored in super dark. So, what you really have, right, is 1/2 and 1/6. I apologize. So your answer is going to be 1/2 times 1/6. I will try and make the colors a little more good on that one. or at least a little more clear for the next time. Now, for our last problem, 3/5 times 2/4. In multiplication, you just multiply the top, multiply the bottom. So 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 4 is 20. So we have 6/20. Now we need to reduce this. Now, I know just by looking at it that both of these are even numbers, so I know I'm going to be able to divide each by 2, at least. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. Look at it again and think, can I get any number to go into both evenly with no remainder? You cannot. So that's your final answer. Okay, I miss you guys so much. One more to go.